Here. Thank you for caring about this important issue. I will begin by saying corporations are not people. They don't have a religion. They don't have a moral compass. Their goal is to make a profit, sometimes only a short-term profit. So we must decide what rules we have for those corporations to protect ourselves and our future. As a physician for 30 years working in emergency rooms, I have had an occasion to treat a child who was poisoned by pesticides merely by walking through the field and eating strawberries that hadn't been washed. And the child was quite ill, on a monitor, in intensive care with heart arrhythmias for over 12 hours before we stabilized the child. Confused, looked like a chemical poisoning victim in Syria. So this can happen because of the way we produce our foods. I had the chance to watch a portion of your film, and they talked about the GMOs and seeds. I have a seed bank at home. We live on 21 acres and have a small portion where we grow, for example, the beets I ate last night, the greens I ate last night, and we save our seeds, like our dill and our parsley, from year to year. We used to have those germinated by our bees, our honeybees. Our honeybees in our area in Union County are now diminished because of pesticides. So instead, we're fertilized by the big carpenter bees. So we look at the holes all through our flashing and think, don't want to kill the bees. That's all that's going out there right now to take care of that need to make our plants grow. So we save our seeds. I think many of you, how many of you have a seed bank at home? Sure. You put up your seeds and you use them again the next year. And we ought to be able to do that without the fear that a Monsanto contaminated gene is going to come in and fertilize our seeds and our plants. If they want to do that, they need to keep it on their fields and out of our fields. And it is not sufficient for them to say, sorry, we'll completely sterilize your fields to get our seeds out of there. We shouldn't have to have our soil sterilized because of their mistake and then sign a non-disclosure agreement. That just isn't right. Our freedoms, this weekend, this Memorial Weekend, when we are so concerned about veterans who fought for our freedom, this weekend we are facing another kind of intrusion, a corporate intrusion on our freedoms. And it is quite appropriate that we sign, that we fight, that we march, that we vocalize this issue that just isn't getting the press that it needs. Now, you've heard today in the film about the genetically modified seeds. We also have genetically modified animals. We have chickens that cannot stand up because in order to produce the chicken breast, they have overbred those chickens so that they live their whole life with ulcers on the chest, unable to stand. We have cows that are out there living with beef meat on the hoof, so much so that they cannot stand on their legs, and they live a short existence in constant pain. We don't need to tolerate that. We don't need to have that. So whether it is a genetically modified seed where they have cut and pasted DNA and RNA, or whether it is genetic selection for really questionable outcomes like those large breasted chickens, we need to question whether that is the way we want our food produced and whether we want that as our future. Whether we want those pesticides poured on top of all of our foods, with the question of whether they're incorporated into the product, into the blueberry, into the strawberry, into the tomato. It may not just be on the surface. As a physician, I believe those serology and urine tests that show pesticides in human beings who have ingested common foods that we all buy unlabeled in our grocery stores. So we need to question that. Also, I ask you to look at the delta of the Mississippi River, what is called the dead zone. The dead zone where fish can't grow, where the shells fish can't grow because the pesticides we pour in using our Mississippi River and Delta as a toilet have further and further sterilized so that animals cannot grow. So I applaud you all on this beautiful day for being here, being concerned about these issues. There are a great many scientific proofs for the things we care about. And I've told you anecdotally about the child I treated who was poisoned by pesticides just eating strawberries. So we need to question the overuse of these pesticides, the sterilization of our soil, and it is really nice to see some of these proven organic farms that produce just as much as the corporate intensive per acre farm that we're facing right now. So as we look at this whole issue of corporate takeover of our lives as they try to enslave us and our future to those corporate profits, I applaud you, keep it up, go after them. So we'll just keep on trucking, keep on bringing this to everyone's attention. So every one of you who is here today, thank you for your interest, for your civic engagement, and for your concern. Go get them.